How's it going, everybody? Just doing a quick review today on the Samsung Galaxy Note 7, the phone that I'm actually using right now. Just a couple of opinions, couple of seconds, and I won't take up much of your time. Just a couple of things, some pros, some cons about it. We'll get right into it. Here we go.
Pretty much, I know most of you have already heard about the Samsung recall on the Note 7, how it's exploding and the battery's going and everything else. I'm going to touch down on a little bit of that today, but I'm also going to give you a review of some of the finer things or some of the things that I liked about the Galaxy Note 7. But first off, they urge you to bring the phone back. If you haven't already, to return the phone by the end of the month, which is in a few more days. They are going to cut the Samsung Note off. They're going to disconnect it. They don't want people using a defective phone. So what they're going to do is tell people to get to the carrier, have your carrier replace the phone, and that way you're not in any danger of getting hurt or having anything damaged from this phone. So moving on from that, we're going to get to the specs right off the bat here. If you would like, I'm going to have these scroll through and you can pause the screen and see exactly just a quick overview of the specs of the phone. Your Note 7 comes as follows. It's a 5.7-inch Super AMOLED display. You have 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, and a 3500 milliamp battery. It goes up to about 256 gigabytes for a micro SD. Your rear-facing camera is a 12 megapixel powerhouse, 5 megapixel front-facing camera, as well as an iris and fingerprint scanner for your security. Wireless charging, if you may need to do so, which works very well, charges very quickly. An IP68 dust and waterproof certification. This thing is supposed to be able to be dunked in water. Also, for charging, you have a Type-C connector. These phones come in an onyx black, silver titanium, gold platinum, and blue coral. Operating system obviously is a 6.0, and yes, it does include a 3.5 millimeter jack. So as you can see, this phone is very streamlined. Something I came over from LG, something I liked a lot, was a bezel-less look. The edges of the phone are curved very smoothly. Gives a little bit of an issue with the pen. The corner only has a little bit of issue that I find with it, and that's when you're trying to grab some of the media and you're taking clips and images and stuff like that. You have a hard time getting to the corner of these images because of the round screen. So that is one, downside of it all. Aside from that, I have a very nice case. This is a Spigen case, clear case with the kickstand. I've been spoiled with kickstands. I need to have that in my life. So let's move on to some of the features. The kickstand is a Spigen patent that they like to boast, which for me so far works quite well. Wish it was a little bit more centered, a little closer to the center of the phone, maybe right there underneath the Galaxy Note 7 logo. I think that'll probably work out a little better for the phone as far as balancing when you have it down and you're pushing against it. But the front of this thing is beautiful. Right, as you can see, these two both work very well together. I have an IQ matte screen cover on it. It looks beautiful when the phone's off. It looks beautiful when it's on it, but it does take away from the screen quality. I was disappointed in that when I went to go take a picture or even looking at some of the things online. You can see the discoloration and some of the quality is brought down. These phone screens are immaculate. They're real crisp. You see a lot of high detail. You get most 4K if need be out of pictures and video out of this thing. So I was a little disappointed in that when I had to take it off and put an HD clear IQ matte screen on it, which did come out a lot better and crisp when it came to the pictures and everything else. I will miss the matte. Maybe if they fix it and you can see more of the picture and its quality, maybe I'll go back to it. As it goes now, this is the presentation that I put together for the sake of this video. As I was saying, we move on to the screen. The screen looks great. The slender form factor of this phone is great. The sides are nice and thin all the way around. Great to hold, great to feel in the hands, nice metallic feel all the way around to the bottom. Just to give you an idea, a quick view of the thickness from the bottom, obviously. From here, you can see the USB connectors, the headphone jack, and the pen. As the pen comes out, you have a menu that pops up with many different options to use this pen. And as you get into it, you'll find out exactly how you want to change them. There is an option to do so, to tailor it to your needs and your productive wants through the phone. I use the phone pretty high productively with all of its features, so sometimes it's hard for me to decide. But you also have the option of pulling out the pen even while it's off, taking some quick notes and saving it to your screen to remind you later. If the note tends to get a little long, you can extend the screen moving down, which was not an option on a previous Note 5. It works pretty well. I like it. I got some time in between. I write a couple of notes. I jot a couple of things down. I build my calendars on this thing, save them, and then implement what I need to on a calendar later on if I am running around that busy. One thing about the pen is that you can click that button and erase things now without having to go to the top of the screen and hit the eraser. One of the things I like more, hopefully in the future, we'll be able to see a little bit more functionality through the pen and some of the buttons that maybe they'll implement later on. Without even turning this thing on, without even getting inside of it, it is one beautiful phone. I've customized the phone quite a bit just to show a little bit of the detail that you can get from the stars down to the water, the bottom of the screen. This thing shows a high level of detail. The buttons on the bottom I find are awesome. As you turn off the phone, they don't even look like they're there. You click that side button and then you're able to see them, they light up. I love the single solid metal form that they've put into this phone. Jet black screen, I'm a fan of it right off the bat. The color all the way around, you get a nice high profile shine. One of the arguments I have seen and heard from many others is that this thing is a fingerprint magnet. If you don't have it in the case, you will find yourself wiping it off quite a bit. Even changing over to the HD screen cover, I find myself wiping this off quite a bit. But as I move this around, you can see the high reflective, silver titanium color. For me, this was a no-brainer. I loved it. I had to get this style. And here at the top, just to throw in there real quick, you see the SD card and where your SIM goes, little pinhole to pop that little cartridge dock out. And there you can have up to 256 gigabytes placed into that slot. As you get into customizing this phone, you can change quite a bit. You change the icons, you can change the themes, you can change a lot on how this phone looks and functions for you. They have a theme store in there where you can change your wallpapers, etc. There's quite a bit. If you get some time, go in there. I definitely would recommend getting inside this thing, playing around with it and tailoring it to the way you want it to look. And here's just one of them that I've used in the past, matte black, but I've jumped into something of a frosted color so it matches the phone and the way it looks and everything else. I really tailored this thing to exactly how I like it. There's plenty enough in there for people to express themselves with. And if you do find that you like the matte screen cover, you can see from here that it does a good job of blocking some of the light reflected back. You don't get so much of a mirror reflection. So like I said in the beginning, if you haven't returned your phone, make sure you do so. The new Note 7s have come back in with the battery checked. If it's a good replacement, they'll have a square on the tag of the box. Or when you get the phone out and you got it charged and everything else, there will be a green battery indicator. This is going to tell you that this phone is been checked by Samsung and they feel as if this is a safe phone. Some of the images that I found on the internet, and this is what they look like. So do yourself a favor, get these phones in there, man. Get them checked out, get them replaced, whatever the case may be. So make sure you get your phones in there, get them replaced. There's no point in having this happen to you. There's no point in taking the risk. And in the future, I'll be doing more of these, let you guys know what's going on in the tech world. If there's something you'd like to see, something you'd like to know about, let me know. Hit me up with a message or ask me a question, and maybe I'll do a quick review of whatever it is, whatever device or whatever it is that you're looking for right there on the spot. So hopefully you like this review. I'll be doing many more in the future. Like I said before, please stop through, hit the subscribe, hit the like, and I'll see you next time. This is Higher Minds.